How about you, Jessica? Isn't that difficult to stop comparing yourself with other swimmers or triathletes?
Currently unmuted.
I think in some ways I'm actually kind of lucky. I can't see my competitors, so I choose not to pay attention to what they're doing. I could ask my guide and find out what they're doing, but for me, I've noticed just through racing and my own experiences that I do better if I stay in my own space and in my own head. When the race starts getting tough at the end, my idea is usually, if you're going to catch me, you better be tired by the time you get here. So I think maybe I use that as fuel, but I really don't compare myself to other athletes because we all come from different backgrounds and varying visual acuity levels. Some of us can see a little bit, some of us can't see at all. Some of us have been working with our guides for 3 years. Some of us have been working with our guides for 6 months. There are so many different factors. And so I think it is good to look at your competitors the way Liz does and take from them what could possibly make you stronger. I hope my competitors can do that, because if they're looking at me and comparing themselves and being like, well, we should do it this way, then that means I'm worth comparing to. They think I'm fast enough. And I do look at other athletes in that way, and that, how can we make our team stronger? But then it always goes back to focusing on my guide and I, and the really cool stuff that we have between the two of us.
Interesting that both of you are comparing yourself with other athletes to get some positive points to improve yourself more. Well, I know it's very difficult, especially for young people these days in this Instagram and Facebook, and those things are really kind of helping them and pushing them, urging them to compare their lives, themselves and their looks with other people all the time. But comparison is not that bad. That's what I learned from you. Yeah, compare it for a different purpose, to make yourself stronger and then improve your skills more. And also another thing that I learned is, well, this is like a cliche, but patience. Patience is all the time important. Never give up in the middle, but patience. But I just found that the great confidence that both of you, of course, have as a high-performing athletes. And just my little question, the last minute is, do you remember when you gained the sturdy confidence that emerged in you? Of course, when you were younger, like a teenager or even before that, and you didn't really have any confidence as an athlete yet. But as you grew up, as you train yourself, is there any kind of right moment? Oh, I got my confidence.
I think when I started to care more about what I thought of myself versus what other people thought of myself, that started to help a lot. I think a lot of the time we think to ourselves, we get worried. We're like, oh my goodness, what will people think? And then the better question is, well, what person, whose opinion do you actually care about? And you're like, okay, does my father care about this? What would they think? Do my friends care about this? What would they think? And a lot of the time it's, the questions that we're asking ourselves, like, will my hair look good this way? It's like, they don't care. It's whatever you care about. And I think really identifying, like, should I do this or that? It's like, well, what would make you more proud of yourself? Because it's your life. And, unless you're going to go, do something that's really like ridiculous and awful and totally against whatever it is, like your background or your family, I think a lot of the time just reminding yourself that it's your life and you need to be proud of yourself before anyone else is. And if you like yourself, other people will like you too, because people like people who like themselves. So when I first started doing javelin, I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of a very random, strange thing that no one does. What will people think? And then people were just like, oh, that's really cool. You're doing something very different. Good for you. And I was like, yeah, good for me. This is good. And I think that was kind of it, just realizing that it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you play a sport that everybody knows about or you play a sport that no one knows about. As long as you're striving for excellence in something, or you want to be incredibly kind or good or whatever, it doesn't really matter what it is you're doing it in. It's just a vehicle to show who you are.
I think confidence is something that I gained. I don't ever think there was just a switch on or off. I think it was slowly gained, but I also agree with Liz in that I started caring more about what I cared rather than what everybody else thought. And that's a very good lesson that I've learned through sport. And it's a lesson that I'm starting now to be able to apply to the rest of my life, which is really important, I think. And so, and confidence also came through being able to trust and put trust out there and take a chance. So it's scary. Building confidence is actually really scary. It's not safe, but it's so worth it in the end.
A lot of times I also get really scared to try something new. I sometimes know that if I try this, and I know I will feel more confident. My students say the same thing all the time when they try something new. And as you said, Jessica, sometimes it's kind of scary, but we have to take a risk every now and then. Yes, if you're safe all the time, I also would like to keep pushing the youth back more and more. Okay. Great, thank you very much. So those are the questions that I had to ask you from my side, but there are 4 questions that I have received from the Miyazaki Municipal University students. And I'm just going to call out their names. So Tai, could you please spotlight them? The first student is Momoka Ikeda.
Hi.
Okay. And then the second student is Yusuke Fujiki. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And the third student is Kaito Tabata.
Hi.
Okay. And then the fourth, I'm just waiting for Tai to spotlight them. I'm just going to spotlight Kaito. All righty. Good. And then the last but not least is Miyu Hatanaka. Miyu.
Hi.
There you go. All right, so 4 of them are all here together with me. Okay, very good. So why don't I start with Momoka? Hi, Momoka, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. The weather is crowded, but I'm excited to meet online. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so you have a question to ask Liz and Jessica. All right, then what is your question?
Okay. Hello, my name is Momoka, and I'd like to ask you that what kind of songs brings your motivation high for the game?
Okay, then I'm going to start with Jessica.
Currently unmuted.
So I grew up in a very kind of rural part of Canada, and so I grew up with my grandparents listening to very old country and Western music, which is not my motivation music. However, I still really like country music because it sort of makes me feel at home.
For country music, I see. How about you, Liz?
I'm a little bit of everything. I have this playlist on Spotify it's called Feels Epic. And it's anything from the Batman soundtrack to Inception to like Viking soundtrack, anything that makes you feel like you're a warrior going into battle. So I sometimes use that, but I like it because there's no words. And you know how like soundtracks make you feel like you have this background to your life, and that's kind of what I like sometimes. It's definitely a good go-to when I don't want words in my head.
So we are hoping that Jessica and Liz, you can add some Japanese. You know, we actually have lots of cheerful Japanese pop songs, so I hope that you're going to add some of them later on your Spotify. All right, thank you. The next person, Yusuke, how about you? Yusuke? Okay, how are you today, Yusuke?
I have a little bit stomachache today.
Oh, okay, you're hanging there. Thank you. Okay.
Yes. But I feel very happy to meet nice people today.
Okay, that's good. Good to hear that. Then, what is your question?
Yes. Good morning. My name is Yusuke Fujiki. And please tell me when you feel happy as an Olympian.
Okay, we're the very top performing athletes. Then starting with Liz.
I feel happiest in the forest. I live 5 minutes away from the forest between the University of British Columbia and Vancouver. And the University of British Columbia is on a peninsula. So this is Vancouver and this is the university, and then this is the forest. And I live right here. So that's where I go a lot. I'm in there probably 2 to 3 times per week just to calm down and maybe go for a short walk or run. And yeah, it's just a very good reset. I think in Japan, do you call it forest bathing? Is that a thing? But yeah, that's kind of my happy place. Anywhere that's nature and green.
Thank you. The forest bathing is 森林浴。ね、森林浴をするのが好きってことですね。Alright, then Jessica, how about your happiest moment as an athlete?
I am a forest bather as well. I love the forest. I live probably a 10 to 15-minute walk from a trail that is about a 12-kilometer trail, and it loops around a lake. And I feel very fortunate to live that close. And what makes me even happier is I take my dogs along with me into the forest. So if I have the dogs and trees, I'm very happy.
Okay, Jessica, thank you. When you talk about that endless loop in the forest and then Liz, the face got to brighten up. Really? I've got to know where it is. Okay, yeah, Canada for sure has lots of forests. And it's wonderful if you haven't already come to Canada. And then I really strongly recommend that you should after the pandemic. We have lots of nature, we have nice ocean, and we have nice people and wonderful top athletes. So please do come and visit us. All right, then the third question by Kaito.
Hi.
Kaito, how are you? Are you as happy as usual today?
Yeah, could be better. Awesome today.
Okay, then what's your question?
Okay. Hi, I'm glad to meet you, Liz and Jessica. My name is Kite, and my question is how to challenge yesterday's yourself. Thank you.
How to kind of go over yesterday's yourself.
I don't know if I can go first. I have to think about this. No, that's a good question. I think there are a couple ways, but one way is that I know that I'm training for a team. There's 2 of us. And so if I'm struggling with motivation, sometimes I think about how hard she's working and how I want to hold up my end of the bargain. I also am just very appreciative, and I feel privileged to be able to be trying to go to my 4th Paralympic Games. And so that's where I managed to find motivation and challenge myself from, yesterday was hard. How do I do things better today? And it's just because this isn't an opportunity that a lot of people get, and I'm just really grateful that I have it, and I don't want to waste it.
I do a couple things. So I like to say you have to be a little bit self-aware before you're aware of what it is you're trying to do. So I write every day. I start my day by writing for about 30 minutes, and it's about anything. It's about track, it's about relationships, it's about my friends, it's about what I think about my future, maybe something that troubled me, because I think that gives me a lot of clarity. And then I write down, I'm like, okay, I kind of get it off my chest, and then I say, what do I want out of my day? What is important to me? And this is really important because it helps me set a priority every single day. And it's not about setting some new priority. It's often just recommitting to the exact same thing. And I find it's really, really helpful because if I turn on my phone before I've done this, then I get an email asking for help. I get a text message, wanting to gossip. I look on Instagram and it's telling me to buy shoes. And if I do this before I've had my own thoughts, then I get distracted and I want to help other people, or I want to do something, or I feel like I have to do something. And then I feel like I am pulled in 20 different directions and no clear path forward. So we are a blank slate in the morning. Our brains are just malleable and empty. And I like to use that time to say, okay, what do I care about today? I care about my recovery, or I care about spending time with my family, or I really care about having a really focused training session, which means I probably want to stretch or eat or do this beforehand. So for me, it's waking up every day and saying, what do I care about the most today? And how am I going to get that one thing done? And it doesn't have to be filling your day front to back. It's just saying, okay, like if there was one thing that I did today that I'd be proud of myself for, that moved my life forward, what would it be? And you just do that every day. So that's kind of how I motivate myself, is just reminders of what do I care about? What do I need to do to move it forward?
So it's a very difficult question, actually. Yes, but kind of stay away from a phone for a while to have some more moments to focus on your own day. It's very difficult too. Actually, I know young people, your days are very busy, but it's sometimes very important to stay away and walk around the forest. Okay. That can give you kind of wonderful feeling too, for sure. Okay, last but not least is Miyu. Hi, Miyu, how are you today?
I'm good, but I'm a little bit nervous.
Oh, okay. Sorry to keep you wait until the last minute. Okay, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Miyu Hatakenaka. I'm from Kyoto. My question is, how much alcohol do you drink every day?
How much alcohol? Okay. Then this time, Liz, it should be Liz. Okay, you want to go first?
Yeah, I don't drink anymore. Yeah, I used to. I used to have red wine like 5 nights a week. In university, I drank way more, unhealthy amount, I'll be totally honest. And yeah, I don't like what it does to my sleep anymore. I don't like the way it makes me feel when I wake up. And now I am hungover at night when I've had 2 drinks. So it's not worth it anymore. Yeah, plus during the pandemic, there's no reason. I don't need it. I have other things to do. So yeah, no hate for anybody else who does it. It just definitely, it disturbs my sleep way too much. And I'm so unhappy the next day that it's not worth it.
I kind of have to ask you how you stopped drinking, though. I really like red wine too. And you said I used to, but that means actually you're not drinking anymore now. So I need to talk to you again about that. Okay, Jessica, how about you? How much alcohol do you drink?
I do drink. I don't drink a lot because it does dehydrate me. And I'm like Liz, I don't like the way I feel when I wake up in the morning. It really disturbs my sleep. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm a much older athlete and I need my sleep. And I don't know, I like going to bed and having this wonderful sleep and waking up in the morning, just feeling really good. So I might have like a glass of wine on a Saturday or maybe a Friday night, but not a lot. And it's usually when I just have people to sit and chat with. It's just sort of a social thing, I guess. But oh, I'm sorry, one of my dogs is contributing to the conversation. But yeah, so I do drink, but not a lot.
Not much alcohol, and then instead, do you drink like water or some kind of like a sport drink or tea? Or Liz, what do you drink then? Just water?
Water. I drink coffee. I actually just started today not drinking coffee for the next little while. And I've drank coffee every single day of my life since I was 17. So I'm 32. So this is a real challenge for me. But I was like, last night I was like, I think I could do it. I think I could just not have so much caffeine all the time. And I want to see how it affects me because I don't even know because I have it all the time.
Right.
I tend to drink water. I actually really like water. Sometimes I'll throw an electrolyte tab in it just to give it flavor. I do drink tea, especially this time of year. It's kind of cold and damp and yucky. And my dog is still talking. Sorry.
No worries.
But yeah, so I do drink a lot of water. I do drink coffee, probably in the morning. That's it. I'm sorry, I'm not giving that up. You're brave, Liz.
Yeah, you need it. Liz, you too. You need it.
I have to say though, I've had Bakari sweat. It's the best thing ever.
And thank you to 4 students for asking some questions. And then now it's time for everybody to join together. And then I just would like to wrap this up. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today. And then Liz actually shared on a YouTube video where you can see how she is throwing the javelin, and then you can find it in the chat function right now. Especially Liz and Jessica, thank you very much for having spent your precious time during the very, very intensive training toward the Olympic Games and shared inspiring stories and perspectives with us. I also learned quite a lot too. And then thank you to Mr. Nakamura and Ms. Tatsumoto to introduce Miyazaki City to all of us. And Liz and Jessica, we are all rooting for you from Canada, from Japan, wherever you are and wherever we are. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed. All the best for you. And all the audiences, thank you who joined us today. Thank you once more. And then this is the time for me to wrap up. So I hope you have a wonderful day today.